Hey guys, and welcome to Relationship Chronicles. Today we have a cheating revenge story from one of my subscribers that I will walk you through with. And afterwards I'll give my opinion and advice to the subscriber on how to deal with this situation. Cindy met and fell in love with Rick Thomas during her freshman year of college. He was funny, energetic, and always knew how to make her laugh and feel special. They enjoyed long Sunday walks and sneaking into empty campus buildings to talk for hours. Rick was both handsome and kind qualities. Cindy's parents and his family appreciated. His sister, Kathy, once joked, "If he ever breaks up with you, we'll definitely miss him." By his last semester, Rick secured a job with a big investment firm on the West Coast, while Cindy earned her teaching degree and found a job in Orange County. To celebrate, Rick took her to dinner in San Clemente and proposed with a beautiful ring that belonged to his grandmother. Cindy tearfully accepted, and the surrounding diners applauded. 9 years later, Cindy, now 32, had twins, Michael and Sarah, and was teaching 7th grade math. Tired of the low pay and long hours, she decided to leave her job. She managed to find a new career path within 5 months, thanks to her college best friend, Kelly. Kelly was a free spirit, always dragging Cindy into adventures. One day, Kelly invited Cindy to be her date for her boss's wedding in Napa. After discussing it with Rick, who encouraged her to go, Cindy agreed. At the wedding, Cindy watched Kelly dance with a much younger groomsman and chatted with the bride's cousin, Sally, who remarked on the need for a good event coordinator. This comment sparked an idea in Cindy. Within 6 months, she started her event management company, We Plan You Play, utilizing her organizational skills. 2 years later, Cindy's business thrived, especially with destination weddings on the California coast. That's when Cindy met Bennett Davis, who owned 3 upscale boutique hotels perfect for destination weddings in San Diego, Santa Barbara, and the Monterey Peninsula. At 26, Bennett bought a rundown mansion in Santa Barbara, working tirelessly to open it on time and under budget. As the months passed, Cindy's business suffered, and she was left alone, regretting her choices. She realized too late that her affair with Bennett had cost her everything that truly mattered. Cindy's business partner, Kelly, tried to help her get back on track, but Cindy's heart wasn't in it. She had lost her passion and purpose, and her relationships with her children were suffering too. One day, Rick asked for a divorce, and Cindy was devastated. She realized she had lost everything that truly mattered to her: her marriage, her family, and her self-respect. Bennett tried to comfort Cindy, but she pushed him away. She knew she had to face the consequences of her actions alone. She couldn't blame Bennett for her mistakes, but she couldn't forgive herself either. As the divorce proceedings began, Cindy's world fell apart. She had to sell her business, and she moved into a small apartment. She was alone, broken, and bankrupt financially and emotionally. Rick moved on, finding love again with a woman named Sophia. Cindy was happy for him, but it was a bitter pill to swallow. She realized she had lost her soulmate and would never find another love like theirs. Bennett tried to reach out to Cindy again, but she knew she couldn't go back to him. She had to find a way to heal and move on alone. She started attending therapy sessions and slowly began to rebuild her life. With Dr. Lee's guidance, Cindy started to rebuild her relationships with her children. She learned to prioritize their needs and be present in their lives. She also started volunteering at a local nonprofit, helping others who were going through similar struggles. As Cindy healed, she began to see Bennett in a different light. She realized he wasn't the answer to her problems and that she had used him as a distraction from her own issues. She finally closed the door on their relationship, knowing it was the healthiest decision for her. Cindy's journey wasn't easy, but she slowly started to rediscover herself. She learned to love herself again and find purpose in her life. She realized that her worth wasn't defined by her relationships or her business, but by her own strength and resilience. Cindy emerged from her dark period a wiser, stronger, and more compassionate person. She knew she would always carry the scars of her mistakes, but she also knew she had the power to create a better future for herself and her children. Cindy and Rick's marriage was on the rocks after her affair with Bennett. Rick struggled to forgive her and considered divorce, but instead, he came up with a plan to move forward without divorcing her. He told Cindy that he couldn't regain her trust and that her infidelity had eliminated their relationship. He explained that he had always been committed to their marriage and couldn't imagine replacing her, but he couldn't touch her without seeing Bennett's face. Cindy was devastated, realizing too late that she had lost the love of her life. She begged for forgiveness and wanted to fight for their marriage, but Rick was resolute. He said he would create a solution that would work for everyone, but it wouldn't be without pain and loss. 2 weeks later, Rick left for a business trip, and Cindy was left to ponder his words. She was filled with regret and longing for the husband she had lost. Then, the unthinkable happened. Rick died in a car accident on his way back home. Cindy was consumed by grief, realizing too late that she had lost the love of her life. She was left to pick up the pieces, explaining Rick's death to their children and planning a funeral. As she grieved, Cindy realized that Rick's plan had been to create a new life without her, and she was left to face the consequences of her actions alone. She was filled with regret, wondering what would have happened if she had been more engaged in their marriage, if she had fought harder to keep Rick's love. She realized that her affair with Bennett had cost her everything that truly mattered: her marriage, her family, and her self-respect. As Cindy stood at Rick's funeral, surrounded by friends and family, she knew she had lost her soulmate. She had thrown away their love and now he was gone. She felt a deep sadness, knowing she would never find another love like theirs. In the days that followed, Cindy struggled to come to terms with her loss. She realized that Rick's plan had been to move on without her, and she was left to face the consequences of her actions alone. She knew she had to rebuild her life, but it was hard to imagine a future without Rick by her side. As she looked at their children, Cindy knew she had to be strong for them. She vowed to be a better mother, to give them the love and support they deserved. And as she thought of Rick, she knew he would always be with her in spirit, guiding her to be a better person. Cindy took a deep breath, knowing that life would never be the same without Rick. But she was determined to honor his memory by living her life with purpose and love. She would always cherish the memories they had made together and strive to be the person he thought she could be. And so, Cindy began her journey of healing and self-discovery, knowing that Rick would always be in her heart. Cindy's husband Rick died in a car accident 2 weeks after she had an affair with Bennett. Rick's friend Brad, who was also his lawyer, delivered a letter from Rick to Cindy. The letter revealed that Rick had planned his death to look like an accident and left instructions for Cindy and their children. He also left her $300,000 and a warning to not contact Brad again. 12 years later, on Rick's 45th birthday, Brad visited Cindy and handed her another letter from Rick. This letter revealed that Rick had told Brad everything and that their children, Michael and Sarah, would also receive letters revealing the truth about their father's death. Cindy was devastated as she read the letter. She had thought she had moved on from her past, but now it was all coming back to haunt her. She felt a mix of emotions: guilt, shame, and fear. Fear of what her children would think of her, fear of losing them, and fear of facing the consequences of her actions. As she finished reading the letter, her phone started ringing. It was her children, calling to discuss the letters they had received from their father. Cindy's heart sank as she realized she could no longer keep the truths from them. Michael and Sarah were shocked and angry as they confronted their mother about the secrets she had kept from them. Cindy tried to explain, "I wish you the best of luck moving forward." To her own ears. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to today's stories. Living a lie for too long. If you enjoyed listening, time to face please feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already. As the truth came out, Cindy's relationships with her children began to fray. Happened. They struggled to reconcile the mother they thought they knew with the woman who had betrayed their father's trust. Cindy's world began to unravel, and she was left to pick up the pieces of her shattered life. Cindy's story became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the devastating effects of infidelity and the importance of honesty and integrity in relationships. She spent the rest of her days alone, a reminder that some mistakes can never be fully repaired. Let's move on to my thoughts and advice for person has dealing with the problem. It's a tragic reminder of the devastating consequences of infidelity. Cindy's selfish decision to cheat on her husband led to a chain of events that ultimately resulted in his death and the destruction of her relationships with her children. It's a cautionary tale about the importance of honesty, communication, and integrity in relationships.